Hi team, this is Marie from LearnLeague. In this lesson, we are going to dabble in one of my favorite math topics, ratios. So what is a ratio? A ratio is a comparison of two quantities. It's used to show for every amount of one thing how much there is of another thing. What I love about ratios is how it can be used everywhere. We can use ratios to compare the number of Twix bars to the number of Snicker bars, or even the number of basketballs to the number of soccer balls. So what does a ratio look like? Let's say that we went into a pet store and the owner said that he had a ratio of 6 dogs for every 3 cats. You can write this in 3 different ways. You can write it 6 to 3 using the word 2. You can write it 6 to 3 with a colon, or you can write it as a fraction, 6 over 3. Tomato, tomato, whatever you prefer is perfectly fine. Simplifying ratios. Simplifying ratios is similar to simplifying fractions. As with fractions, you can and you should simplify ratios. So for example, 6 dogs to 3 cats. What we can do is divide the first term and the second term both by 3. And when we do that, we get a simplified ratio of 2 to 1. A warning before we move forward. Please, please, please do not write ratios as mixed numbers. So if we had a ratio of 7 to 3, do not write it as 1 2/3, as that is not telling of what the ratio is like. So what kinds of comparisons can you show using ratios? There are 2 main comparisons, part to part and part to whole. Part to part is when you compare 2 different groups of items in a larger group. So for example, the ratio of big stars to little stars here is 2 to 3. We have 2 big stars for every 3 little stars that we have. Another type of comparison is part to whole. Here, the ratio of big stars to the total number of stars is 2 to 5. Do you see the difference? Part to part and part to whole. My mom's secret fried rice recipe has 2 eggs for every 4 cups of rice. What kind of comparison is it? What is the ratio of eggs to rice? Let's tackle the first question first. What kind of comparison is it? Well, if you think about it, it's a part-to-part comparison. We're not comparing the number of eggs to the total number of ingredients. We're comparing the number of eggs to the number of cups of rice. So it's a part-to-part comparison. Now, what is the ratio of eggs to rice? All we do is we go back and we figure out how many eggs we used and how many cups of rice we used. So the ratio is 2 to 4. Now, can we simplify that? Yeah, right? That's because 2 is divisible by 2, and so is 4. So simplified, we have a final ratio of 1 to 2. The number of eggs to the number of cups of rice is 1 to 2. Perfect. Quick warning before we sign off for this video, order really does matter. 1 egg to 2 cups of rice is very different from 2 eggs to 1 cup of rice. If we did 2 eggs to 1 cup of rice, we would have a very, very, very eggy fried rice. So make sure you keep those numbers in the right place. Alrighty, we'll talk soon.